Here we go again. Welcome to the CRWC. Testing, testing, testing.
Test 1, test 2, test 3, test 4.
Is it peaking now? There it is. Okay, so just turn down the mic volume a little. You guys froze. Okay, we both comment.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to the Campus Recreation and Wellness Center here in Oshawa, Ontario for this weekend's Wheelchair Basketball Championships. My name is Ryan Colpitz. Joined alongside me is Etienne Skitch. Etienne, how you doing?
Honestly, I'm having a great time. Happy to finally get this going, and the stream's going happy. Everyone's on the court, and it's the first game of the tournament here. Ready for a good one.
Yeah, excited for a big competition here between the women's mixed team of Ontario and the Ontario 5-on-5 women's as we get started here for Team Black.
And this right here, it is going to be the Crashers trying to make a push here, working their way around, drive towards the net, and loose ball down low is going to be recovered by Ontario's number 19. That's going to be Preston Lai. And Lai loses control, and out it goes. It is going to be Crashers' ball here. The Crashers consist of people from all across the country, which is pretty interesting considering this is, of course, our first national tournament in the last 14 years. It's been a hot minute.
Yeah, it's exciting to see just the development of wheelchair basketball across Canada, and how lucky are we to witness it here this weekend as players are trying to slowly get going here.
And just getting rolling here shortly. Everyone getting in position. And away it goes. Crashers have possession. It's going to be Lightfoot driving down low. Makes a move, trying to create some distance. Good defense here from Steves. And lining up here for the shot. Number 14. Number 14, that was going to be Abigail Zwicker, but comes up short on the shot. So it's Ontario ball here as they make their way through. Ontario going to be pushing their way forward. It was Lai staying with it. Kicks it up. Down low. And first bucket not quite there. Rebound from Lightfoot.
A lot of battles down low in the paint right now as both teams are really searching for their first point. As the ball will go out of play once again.
And it is going to once again be Crashers' possession. And pushing forward here. Substitutions were made from the Crashers. Tapping in was number 12, Bethany Johnson. And it's going to be Ontario ball here. Still 0-0 on the time. And pushing forward, Ontario once again takes a shot. No good. Rebound goes to the Crashers once again. Lightfoot has been all over down low at the rim. And Ontario clean steal as Lai pushes forward. Trying to make a move, get open. And finds her way down low. The lane, no good.
Picked up by Johnson there as she'll move it forward now. A lot of battles down low, which you'd love to see in the paint. As the whistle will get called, and it'll be a turnover now. 7:38 to go here in the first quarter.
And O'Shaughnessy taps out. In comes number 12 for Team Ontario. It's going to be Larissa McClellan. And Lai, not quite, almost had the first bucket of the tournament here, but not quite there. And driving low here, the Crashers lose possession once again. It's an absolute battle here. And both teams struggling to get their first bucket. And just trying to take any form of coverage here, try and get some room. Lai offloads down low, loses control. Crashers recover. Offloaded there was number 83. That's Arbor who offloads, but this one goes out of bounds here. It is possession for Ontario down low. 14 seconds on the clock, of course, starting in the offensive zone. And pulls up. Not quite there for Steves. And this is going to be the Crashers breakaway here. And caught there by Hahn. And loose ball here. Crashers going to keep that before half court, so no over and back. And out it goes. And this one stays Crashers ball. And inbounding here is going to be number 96, Kayla McKinnon.
You know what they say, defense wins good games, and this has been one heck of a game to start us off as we approach basically almost the halfway mark of this first quarter. And it's just been, like you said, a battle back and forth for both teams.
Ontario set to inbound, does so to Lai, chucks it right back to Steves. It's Ontario looking to make a move here, has to get open, trying to open the score. Steves had a handful of shots already. That one comes up short as well, gets her own rebound. And Lai now, an opportunity. Shot clock running down, and that's the Crashers recovering. Trying to get some kind of movement down low. Breaking free. 8 seconds already being drained. And too long.
Yeah, the Crashers need to move the ball up a little bit quicker if they want to maintain possession there, as they'll head to Team Ontario now.
Ontario has done an excellent job of pressing down low. We've seen the Crashers struggle to get out of their own end. And they've been taking lots of shots for it, and Lai overshoots it. And Ontario not quite able to keep that one in. And number 14, that's going to be Abigail Zwicker inbounding here.
You know, Lai's done just a great job at being able to get those shots off and hit a couple rims and backboards. And this could be a very different game if those baskets drop for her.
And Ontario once again recovering here. Clean steal from the leader on this team, Steves, and first bucket of the tournament goes in. And that is going to go for Lai.
Like I said, Lai was just waiting for her first bucket, and she finally finds it to put them up 2-0.
And Ontario once again able to recover. And trying to make some kind of room. Houghton offloads to Steves. Another shot. Balls this time. Ontario's starting to get moving.
You see that Steves and Lai connection working well early here.
And call on the play here. And it's going to be the Crashers inbounding. Trying to make room here. Only have a few seconds to pass half court. They get away with it. And pushing fast here was number 37, Avery Lightfoot. And they get caught up here. So it's once again going to be Team Ontario ball. They've dictated this so far. 4 points to 0. And Lai gets the inbound. who has open court pushing towards the three-point line. Trying to drive low, gets some open space, puts it down low, and one for Steves.
Steve's doing well early as she'll go for an extra shot here. You know, Steve's has such a veteran presence on Canada's women's basketball team. She helped Canada to an undefeated performance at the 2024 Paralympic Games qualifier, and at the end of 2023 at her third Pan American Games. She was also in Canada's silver medal winning squad.
That's certainly a stat line here. Steves opting for the 6-point play instead. And gets away with it. No issue contesting down low. Ontario knows that they can essentially play bully ball to get their way down low. And they're going to get away with it here. The Crashers need to get some points to their name.
As we have a massive battle down low here between Lai and Zilliker. And then on the other end of that, you have Johnson going up as well against Nyakundi.
And free lay down low, no good for McClellan. And Steve's getting locked up down low. That was good cover there from Arbor, making sure that Steve stays out of the play.
And Crashers will get their first 2 points of the contest.
And foul there on Steves. Who clips the wheel of a Crasher. And that was McKinnon who hit the hardwood. Of course, no hard feelings between the two. Sometimes it is inevitable.
Oh, definitely, but you see the sportsmanship that Steve shows and just making sure that McKinnon was okay, which she is, as we get set up now along the far side.
Wheelchair basketball is no soft game here. And Crashers looking to prove that fact, trying to get any kind of movement here. This time it's Johnson, takes a look, short, offloads for the pass, and the first bucket found here for the Crashers is Lightfoot. This mixed roster here trying to do the best they can. Lai is open low, and excellent offload down low there for number 43 for Team Ontario. That is going to be Marceline Nyakundi.
As we have a couple players tied up along the far side here. They'll get sorted out and adjusted.
And looks like a quick wheel replacement here. Or at least taking it off and putting it back on again.
Yeah, I think they were just tied up there. As Zwicker was tied up. But we are all sorted again for a new toss-in.
And inbounding for Team Ontario once again is Steves, who gets it to Lai. Sends it right back. 3-point opportunity for Steves. Not quite. Trying to get them to double digits. Wasn't quite there. And timeout called here by the Crashers.
So I think the Crashers' big conversation here is going to be how to stop Steves.
Steves already has a fistful of points. And the thing is, the Crashers, they're doing good at boxing around down low on the defensive side when they're pushing. But when you're doing that, you're also losing 1 to 2 people on your attack. We saw on the near side. It was Lightfoot and McKinnon and Arbor who had locked up Steves down low, and then you're forced into a 4-on-5 rush here, and that's no good.
Yeah, definitely. You need to have as many open players as you can to really make sure that you try and pass the ball around, get that open opportunity shot, just like Steve's had with that open wide three-pointer. And then just make sure that you attack the zone. The biggest thing we've seen both teams do very well early is just defensively try and maintain zone possession and make sure the Crashers are doing it really well in their end, trying to make sure that Team Ontario doesn't have an opportunity to go further down and get more points on the board.
Absolutely here. Ontario looking to break their huddle as well as timeout runs. Got Steves to inbound once again. Checked in here for Team Ontario as well.
Steves with an open shot just off the backboard and out. But Team Ontario will maintain possession now as Lai has it. Lai with a shot of her own goes up and over the rim, and the Crashers will maintain possession now.
Han checked herself into the game as well. Sorry for not quite finishing that thought. Lai tries to get some room here. And down low is Steves, like we were talking about, doing an excellent job of boxing out. Issue is now they have to cover the rebound. Still not quite there for Han. Look at, and 2 shots there for Han.
Both teams will line up here.
2 shots here for Han. First shot, no good.
And she almost drains her second one, but just shy. Crashers will now take the ball up.
And cleared here was the Crashers looking to drive down low. Open rim shot. Good and gone. And that was Johnson put up another bucket there.
Less than a minute to go here in this first quarter.
And excellent moves here. This time it's Steves. Excellent drive down low. Recovers the rebound. Nyakundi not quite able to recover. And it's Team Ontario, or sorry, this is the mixed team here. This is going to be Team Crashers. It's their ball there.
Mara Duncan with the inbound.
And driving low here, tipped away. But still recovered here no less. The Crashers, a little bit of a scuffle here up at half court as they try and box out Johnson from even getting there. And 2 shots to come for number 7, Genesis Dyke.
You know, for a very slow start to this game, everyone's kind of finding their groove. 8 a.m., it's early morning, just trying to get things sorted out and going. We've had a very good and aggressive second half of this period, or of this quarter rather, with the Crashers having an opportunity to tie it up here at 8 points apiece.
Absolutely, both teams doing a fairly good job here, but that one goes out for Dyke, not quite able to put it away. And second shot, no good.
Last made attempt for Team Ontario. They get the ball over to Steves now. Steves has an open lane.
Puts it away.
And put that up.
8 points now for Steves in just the first quarter. Other 2 points here from Team Ontario. This coming from Lai. And 3 seconds left on the clock. Crashers cannot get there. And that is time on the quarter.
So what do you think the messaging is, ATN? 10-6 for Team Ontario. Pretty close game. Hard defensive battles in the zone. And even have half court as we've seen. What do you think the messaging is for the Crashers as they enter the second quarter here?
I mean, this isn't an unwinnable game. It's a 4-point difference. 2 possessions is all it takes. And they're doing good. They're forcing engagements. And if you're the Crashers, that's exactly what you want to do. You're trying to lock up Steves. You've been doing a good job of that thus far. And if you're Team Ontario, the only goal from that is to keep on doing exactly what you're doing. You're putting all the pressure on them, and you have to keep that up. You let up, and all of a sudden, this is an entirely different game for the Crashers, and they'll start breaking through, and they're not going to stop as soon as they get there.
No, and I completely agree. I think Ontario, the main focus for them is just offense, offense, offense. Keep doing what you've been doing. As we see Steve talk with Leigh a little bit, her main go-to partner, really, if you will, so far this game. You know, it's interesting with Leigh. We've talked a little bit about Steve's. Wheelchair basketball was just one of the sports that Leigh's parents really signed her up for in 2013. And, you know, there's stories that she was reluctant at first to want to go, but then she eventually fell in love with it because of really the intensity and the thrill of wheelchair basketball and what it really brought, right? And even though she's the youngest member on the team, at just 19, she was busy at the Pan American Games in 2019. She ended up playing 5 games there and averaged 31 minutes in those games, where she ended up competing at her first Paralympics in Tokyo at 2020 and her second World Championships in 2023, both resulting in 5th place finishes, so probably not what she's looking for. But in 2023, she did help Canada to win silver at the Pan Games. As we get started here, Lai chasing that ball.
And speaking of, Lai draws the foul there on a quick rush. And we are welcomed into the second quarter here with 2 shots for Lai. Looking for her 3rd and 4th point now. And no good, rims out.
Lai will get her second one to drop, though, adding to Team Ontario's lead. And they'll maintain the ball here as Steve's making up calls. And we'll inbound it now. Steve's with it on the far side. Waiting for that open lane once again. Gets the ball to drop plus the 1. So Steve's doing Steve's things.
Has 10 points now. Opportunity for an extra as well, just to boot. Team Ontario now 1 for 6 on free throws.
You know, Steve's having fun out here. The referee making a small mistake at one point, calling out 2 points. And she's like, I wanted the extra 2 points. But you know what? She drops 1. And now it'll be Crasher's ball here.
Steve's 11 points of their 14.
Steve's with a nice pass over to Lai, who will make it
Drains
another
it.
Drop.
Clearly those two have had their time getting their connection going, dictating the court, and Steve's a steal. intercepted pass. Good congestion down low from Lai. And out it goes. Grandy, number 11 for the mixed team. Brittany Grandy going to be the one. Rolls off her wheel there. Unlucky. Lai recovering. And down low. Ontario puts away another. This time Freeman Gibb tapped in for the second quarter and already making her presence felt.
You know, she's been sitting on the side seeing Lai and Steves go at it. She's like, I want a piece of that. Give me some.
And over and back. Called against the Crashers. And tapping in here for Ontario. Is going to be shortly here is going to be number 11 for Team Ontario, Charlotte McElroy, just waiting for her opportunity to be called. And too long down low for Lai. And McElroy tapping in.
Ontario setting up a good defensive position, trying to find where the Crashers are going to throw the ball to.
McElroy in, and that's Hahn tapping out. Driving here, the Crashers getting an opportunity down low. Hands are up, good cover. Offloads, not quite there. Another missed opportunity for this Crashers offensive. This game is slowly getting out of hand. Ontario has put the pedal to the metal.
Steve's making all the calls, looking for a far end pass to Lai, and she finds Lai with a toss up now.
No good, and recovered by the Crashers.
Yeah, as you were saying, it's trying to get away for the Crashers, but you know what? There is a lot of time left to play here. And if the Crashers can somehow stop that offensive power of Steves and Lai, I think they could see themselves scoring a few more.
Those two have been putting themselves face to face, and shot clock violation. Unlucky break, as that would have been Duncan's first points of the tournament. And that would have kept them at least within 10 points, but not quite going to be there. As this is Lai driving. Long takes some contact down low. And offloading here, McElroy not quite able to put it away on first opportunity. Second draws the foul. One thing you have to worry about if you're the Crashers here is if you're getting almost too aggressive down low, haven't quite been able to keep themselves in contact down low and in one piece offensively. And they're doing a great job driving, just have to make the most of it. McElroy, her first. Off target, stays wide right.
Yeah, the biggest thing is just trying to draw those fouls, which, again, Team Ontario has been doing very well with, as they'll maintain possession
and
here for a brief moment.
McElroy 0 for 2 on those. Steve's offloads, trying to get McElroy her first, not quite. And Lai, quick moves down low. Has to put the ball up in the air to Steves. Ball's beating the shot clock just by a little bit.
Talk about a buzzer beater, if you will.
And that's 13 for Steves now. And number 5, O'Shaughnessy, Taylor O'Shaughnessy, looking to check in for Team Ontario. And in she goes. Out goes number 35. That's going to be Celine Freeman Gibb. And Lai offloads Steves. Driving loose ball, Long recovers it, sends it right back. O'Shaughnessy has some height difference over the block and finds it.
Great opportunity for O'Shaughnessy. You know, she's given a, I don't want to say a pep talk by her coach, but a strategic discussion, and it worked out for her.
You gotta imagine that was intentional there. Probably some play was probably called there to get her open, and using her height over the blockers, something that Ontario is going to continue taking advantage of, as this game may slowly slip away from the Crashers. And offloads wide, too high for number 4, Ellen Doria. And it's Ontario possession.
Lai with the ball now as she'll bring it up and look for an outlet.
Lai drives in, offloads Steves, puts it up and in. Steves 15 now. Running out of space in my book to write down points for Steves.
I still have an opportunity at another one for a second.
And that one goes out. Smart play by Steves to make sure that they don't lose possession. And Lai gets tapped out here. In comes number 15. That's going to be Melanie Houghton. And Steves once again. Clear leader for this Ontario team. And a far pass here for McElroy, not quite able to put it away.
Steve's really showing there why she's such a dominant force on the court. Just not only getting points herself, but making sure that her teammates are involved and making those cross-crease passes too.
Absolutely, an excellent steal by O'Shaughnessy. Try and get some offense using the height again. Not quite able to get there though. Had one bucket. And an unlucky break there for Steves. And I believe she was calling the foul there.
Yeah, that's why she was trying to ask me, like, because I touched the ball, and she wasn't sure why herself, but nonetheless, the Crashers will now have possession.
And offloads here. Was Dick, and moving through now. Lots of contact down low. Dick moving through. And has to go for a big shot there. Almost had that hook shot. And not quite there for Johnson. Already has 2 points. Just wasn't quite able to get there. And driving here for free is O'Shaughnessy, who offloads up top. McElroy, contact, recovered, and puts it down. Long gets a pair.
Gosh, she's just really trying to get the ball out of their own zone, but Steves is saying, no, 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 not today. Maintaining possession here, 17 on the shot clock.
Ontario is just dictating the pace of play. Done an excellent job assembling almost a dream team here. And excellent communication and excellent play. McElroy not quite able to get it there.
Subs now coming in for Team Ontario. We'll get a call on a timeout here.
Tapping in there was McClellan.
3:15 to go here. Team Ontario up by 20. And so it'll be interesting to see kind of the conversations that happen here for the Crashers and for Team Ontario. I think for Team Ontario, I think it's just a maintain possession play, maintain pace of play like you were saying. And then for the Crashers, I really think it's just honestly gain more defensive plays and more possession of the ball early on and taking their time with it to really making sure that they're not rushing their plays either.
Absolutely. This game, at this point for the Crashers, you're just trying to drive yourself back into this thing. You're down big, and at this point, Ontario, it looks like they are running away with it. But this mixed team, they have to try and create some offense, get anything going down low. You've been seeing Ontario, they're driving towards the paint consistently. They're not letting them get any kind of movement down low. And the Crashers, they're getting boxed out. They can't really get anywhere near the paint. Ontario doing an excellent job of boxing them out. And now it is going to be Crashers' possession here. Inbounding is going to be number 96, Kayla McKinnon, I believe. I lied. Nope, it is McKinnon. And McKinnon to inbound here. Ontario covering everyone near. And this was their problem for the Crashers, but they are going to manage to make their way out of their own territory here. Driving forward is Kalita Kapanis, who gets bumped on the play. Still running here. McElroy is on the cover. Offloads here. Johnson has a pair. No good regardless.
No foul called on the play either, so 2:49 here to go in the second quarter.
And driving here, McElroy. Offloads, pass goes awry out to the far left of O'Shaughnessy.
Yeah, even O'Shaughnessy tried to reach for that one, but just fell short of it.
And Team Quebec has entered the building. We will be seeing them play later on today. And pushing once again, going to Kapanis, who's done a good job driving, getting some room. Steves lost concentration there. Kapanis gets some room. Offloads, and no good.
Just off the back and out front, and Steves will pick it up now. O'Shaughnessy trying to get possession. She does, and she'll get the ball from Steves. Take her time, and it'll just go out and over.
And getting caught up there was Johnson. Ontario is doing an excellent job, like I was saying earlier. They're forcing them into essentially 3-on-3 games down low because they're doing such a good job at boxing them out up top. And frankly, not even letting the Crashers into their own offensive zone.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. We're just seeing, that solid, just 3-on-3 plays. Just due to the defensive efforts that Team Ontario has shown.
There's lots of contact here, especially up at half court. And we've seen Steves already has 15. Now just looking for an assist. Not quite there. Offloads. O'Shaughnessy looking to get above the block. Not quite there. He's still blocked out. Good play by McElroy to try and get some extra cover. And O'Shaughnessy recovers in the offensive zone. Fresh shot clock here for Ontario. O'Shaughnessy takes a bump. And McElroy recovers that pass.
Minute left to go here on the clock for the second quarter.
Inbounding once again is going to be McKinnon.
And Steves will come out of the game for the first time.
And McClellan tapped in for Steves there. I mean, Steves did spend, almost 20 minutes straight on the court there, apart from those couple timeouts, so.
Exactly.
Got to give it to her here.
She made her presence known.
And open look, not quite there. Recovered by Houghton. Good recovery there. Has the hustle, beats out Breakers defenders. And down low, O'Shaughnessy loses control.
The Crashers ball here. Oh, sorry, correction. Team Ontario still has the ball, but 8 seconds left on the shot clock. So McElroy will have to toss it in quick and get a shot off.
Has 7 seconds. Has time to get some moves. Who needs time when you can shoot it fast? Not quite able to get it away, though. And Ontario putting the pressure on, trying to force the Crashers to stay in their own end. 8 seconds. And they manage to make it out of their own zone before it crosses. And clean drive here from Bennett. Offloads. And another one. This is the Breakers, Crashers consistency, and they're consistently hitting the backboard here. They're just not able to recover. And O'Shaughnessy over the top.
O'Shaughnessy with a buzzer beater of her own to make it a 28-6 game going into halftime here.
Good quick thinking there from Team Ontario. Able to get that last second bucket. Good play getting it to O'Shaughnessy, get above the defenders. Height difference is sometimes all it takes. Excellent assist there from Houghton. And if you're the Crashers right now, you just have to try and get something going. You're getting boxed out in your own end, and you have to make sure that you can even break out. There's been a few times now where they've been caught on that 8 seconds in their own zone. And you have to make sure that you can do the utmost, because you keep getting boxed. You're not getting in towards the paint. We've been seeing almost all of Ontario's points have come from within the key.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of Ontario's doing just really well, maintaining, going around the hoop, and really looking for their open opportunities. And I know we've said this a few times now, but to Steve's point, she has done very well with just looking for outplays on the court, looking for her partner in lie to really make sure that those opportunities are available to Ontario. And they've been able to execute solely just off those. And then, as you pointed out earlier, it seems like almost like a 3-on-3 game with a couple wingers on the sides because of how defensive each team has been playing, both in their own zones. Well, fans, while we have some time here, we just want to let you know that the IWBF Wheelchair Basketball World Championships are coming to Ottawa from September 9th to 19th in 2026, which will be the world's premier wheelchair basketball event. This will be the biggest team sport event for athletes with disabilities in the world. It will be 10 days of really intense competition and eye-opening athleticism, featuring the best wheelchair basketball players in the world. You'll see 28 teams competing from approximately 20 nations. There'll be 12 women's teams and 16 men's teams. So again, we've seen a lot of heavy battles down low here so far today, and it's something that you can continue to see in Ottawa of next year. Also, we were talking a little bit earlier about the development of wheelchair basketball as a whole and the work that they have been doing to really make sure that it is a legacy, and as part of its long-term legacy, and to grow the sport of wheelchair basketball in advance of the World Championships. The WBC has launched an interactive school program This highly successful program really provides an educational and fun experience for students and teachers designed to inspire inclusivity, promote active lifestyles, and raise awareness about parasport. And the Wheelchair Basketball Schools program aims to educate teachers and students about wheelchair basketball and promote physical activity for youth with and without disabilities, fostering an environment of inclusivity. These visits are approximately 90 minutes long and include all the equipment, which includes the sport chairs, balls, cones, pennies, etc. And students will be of all abilities will learn the fundamentals of wheelchair basketball, including the rules, skills, and equipment used in their sport. So again, that is great to see that. If you would like to have a visit, please make sure to visit our links in the description and register your school for a opportunity to have your students involved.
Going to have just a little bit now before both teams make their way back onto the court. Steve's hasn't spent any time thus far
Resting
whatsoever, and has just been constantly shooting the whole time. Lai starting to make her way out there as well.
This is how you build championships, in my opinion. You know, playing basketball for the last 17 years with the Special Olympics myself, this is how you win and define championships and make sure that your strength in your game is as strong as it needs to be as well. Yeah, just talking a little bit more about the two main players that have been the advantage makers for Team Ontario so far. Going to Lai, you know, she was only 17 when she was named to the Canadian roster for the 2018 Wheelchair Basketball World Championships in Germany. And in 2017, she was a member of the National Wheelchair Tennis team, where she was ranked number 7 in the International Tennis Federation World Rankings for girls wheelchair tennis. So
wow,
a dual athlete there in herself is just incredible to see. She has also participated in wheelchair tennis, para ice hockey, and adaptive sailing as well.
Is there anything she can't do?
Right?
Well, just an overall athlete.
And on top of that, she is also a mechanical engineering student at McMaster University. So a lot of different skill sets there for Lai. And then as we look at Steves, who's a veteran presence again that we were saying, she's averaged over 26 minutes for over all 5 games on the floor and helping Canada win gold at the 2019 Pan American Games. And as well, she discovered wheelchair basketball in 2008 and immediately fell in love with the sport. But she ended up joining a local club and dedicated countless hours to honing on her skills on the court. So like we were saying, everyone's kind of taking a breather, and Steves is out there practicing and shooting, and it shows as the results speak for themselves.
Absolutely, like we were talking about earlier, Steves has led this Ontario squad, whether that's dictating the offense in points or assists, has gone both ways. Steves 15 points. Of course, we saw her make a play earlier, which was instead of taking her free throw, just whips it off the backboard, gets the rebound, puts it away for another pair.
Yeah, exactly. And But now you're also seeing talent coming from other players on the team, like McElroy, like O'Shaughnessy, Houghton, Gibbs. A lot of different players are getting their opportunities at really being able to get their piece of the pie, if you will, going into the third quarter here.
And Ontario breaking the huddle. Of course, the Crashers already have made their moves onto the court. We're shooting around for a good while there. And the starting lineup for Ontario is back on the court. It's going to be number 8, of course, Steves checking back in. McClellan sitting there, and number 12, number 10, Hahn as well is going to be in. Number 19, Lai, and number 15, Houghton. Of course, the Crashers will see them make their way onto the court shortly, and we'll know who they're going to put in for this second half.
Yeah, the Crashers were probably looking to see who Ontario was going to send out first, and then be like, how are we going to match this? Sending out their probably starting lineup, to be honest.
The only difference for Ontario with their starting lineup versus now is that O'Shaughnessy is tapped out and McClellan is in. And for the Crashers, as they make their way into the game, starting here is Lightfoot in number 37. Over there is number 86 McKinnon, and number 12 Johnson, number 83 Arbor, and number 14 Zwicker. Of course, this team trying to break through this double-digit threshold at this point. And Lai offload Steves from the top of the key. Not quite there as it rims out. And the Crashers able to recover. As they're pushing forward here. Offloads. And down low, it's going to be McKinnon off target.
Right off the hop, you're hearing a lot more communication coming from the Crashers, calling for the ball, more so than I think you did in the first half of this game.
Absolutely. This team is having to do everything they can to try and break through this Ontario defense, which has been stellar thus far. And McClellan not quite able to get there. Still looking for her first points in the tournament. And Lai able to recover the loose ball. Crashers just weren't quite there as Lai trying to take people off the axle here, and Lai puts away a pair up to 7. And the Crashers just looked lost trying to cover Lai there as she was weaving back and forth. And clean inbound here. It's going to be Johnson. Gets it forward. Lightfoot driving through. And open low. Free look. Arbor gets it away. Her first points on the tournament. And offload Steves to Lai for the inbound as Lai pushes forward. You can see the stylistic difference here. As you see Ontario consistently, they're running almost a trap up at half court, trying to make sure that no one can get anywhere for free. While the Crashers, they're all hanging out back towards their key and not quite able to get any kind of movement. We see right here, you can see that's Lai and Houghton playing aggressive, trying to force the Crashers into these 3-on-3 scenarios. And good defensive movement here from Ontario. As They're trying to break through. Is the Crashers offloads. Pass goes awry. And that's a call on number 19. That's going to be Preeton Lai getting called on a push.
So Crashers will inbound the ball here on the far side, close to us. As Johnson with it with a wide open shot. And it'll go off the boards just over the top of McKinnon. And now Team Ontario has it and will rush down the court. Steve's at the helm. Steve's looking for an open shot, just almost tips over. Maintains possession with the ball though. Oh, around the rim and out. And Crashers will now maintain possession before now being turned back over to Team Ontario. And Steve's with it, and we have Houghton, I believe it is, that's down.
And Steve's going to get back over there. A little bit too much contact on that defensive end. As Steve's helps her out. And away we go. 7:04 on the clock. And counting down. And Lai tries to make some movement here. And good poke. As Lai loses control.
And you know what? Lai's just having so much fun out there. She just has the biggest grin on her face. And that's the key thing about this competition all weekend is there's going to be heavy competition. Hardships on the court, off the court, but at the end of the day, it is a basketball game, and Lai's just having fun with it there.
And Lai able to recover a quick palm of the ball to try and make sure that they cover it. Steve's offloads. McClellan gets it off. Not quite there. And pushing here is Lightfoot. Trying to get forward. And an offensive foul called against number 83. It's going to be Danielle Arbor. So it's going to be Ontario ball. And checking in as per usual here is going to be Tamara Steves. Hahn has an open look and offloads Houghton out to Steves. Mid-range pull-up finds the netting. Steves has 17.
If you give Steves the open lane in that time that she just had, she's going to make you pay and take advantage of it. Without a doubt.
And time out for Team Ontario here.
Team Ontario's just, again, looking, saying, just keep playing your game, maintain possession, and there is such a lead now for them where they can now just kind of sit back a little bit. Maybe you'll see some of the substitutions coming in, maybe more so towards the fourth quarter, and give the starters a breather. But I think right now it's just all defensive plays versus offensive attacks.
So Ontario's done an excellent job. They're putting the pressure on. The question is, if you let off, does this give the Crashers a chance to come back into this game? They've been doing an excellent job at boxing out, and especially like we were talking about earlier, up at half court, they're essentially playing bully ball, not letting anyone through, especially not for free off of the inbound. And it's up to the Crashers to find a way to break through. This style of play could be a problem for almost every team in the tournament here. It's going to be up to the other teams here to try and figure out how to break this Ontario press. And it's a question of who can essentially get away with it first. Team Quebec and the Breakers are, of course, going to be up next for both of these squads in terms of who they're playing, but again, it's a question of can you manage to break through this Ontario press. Good offensive there from Ontario, just not quite able to get there. That was number 2 for Team Ontario. That was Rosie Long, who tried to get that shot off, wasn't quite able to do so.
Crashers with possession now as Lai steals it. Lai will look over to Steve. Steve's now with it with just a little alley-oop shot, but just short. And the Crashers will now maintain.
Tries to get a clean lay, nothing to be found. But another steal here for Team Ontario. Like I was saying, this press has been eating them alive. Steves recovers, puts it down. 19 out of Team Ontario's 34 points have come through Steves. Insane.
Steve's just showing her veteran presence here early in this tournament.
And offload here, Long, back to Steves. And contact down low, causes Lai to lose it. Nyakundi not quite able to gain control, but went out on the Breakers. Or sorry, on the Crashers. I keep saying the Breakers.
Breakers are the next game, pal.
Indeed.
It's okay. We have a lot of exciting competitions here that are going to be up and around, so.
.429, or sorry, they're trying to fix the clock here. I think that's the problem. So they're letting a lot of clock run here.
Yeah, it should be 4:44.
Let's play the game of can we pause the clock.
There we go. All fixed.
And I'm pretty sure a 2-second shot clock won't do Ontario much good. And almost had it. And Steves draws the foul on the contact. 3 shots for Steves at the free throw line.
Oh, that's one way of taking advantage of that 2-second shot clock, as you're mentioning.
Just drive in, force the contact. They're going to have to get in the way of Steves, or else everyone knows that she's going to have a free lane. And no good. 2 for 10 now is Ontario. And 3 for 11. And no good. Crashers recover.
So, you know, normally in a any other situation, only hitting 25% of your free throw shots is something that a team might lose with, but Team Ontario has so much offense everywhere else that they can afford some of those smaller mistakes. But in a closer game, as we see throughout the tournament weekend, that might be something that Team Ontario wants to get practice on or even just hone in on a little bit more.
And missed first shot there from Steves, but Lai puts it away. She has 9 now. And good tip, Nyakundi. And it goes out on the Crashers. Unlucky there. McElroy taps in. Out comes Houghton.
3:47 to go here in the third quarter of the opening championship weekend.
McElroy, not quite. Ayakundi out to Lai. Steves has a lane down low. Just give her the points already. She has 21. Anytime she has the ball, it feels like it's going in. Excellent defense here. Good play by McElroy. And rolls away. And Ontario ball once again. Steves. What's one more? Passes off to McElroy, who comes up short, gets her own rebound, and tipped out of hand. Good play by the Crashers, and tried to make the play, and not quite able to get there.
You know what? I like it. At this point, you're just trying anything that will try and help get some momentum for your team going. So I think the Crashers are just doing anything that they can to really stop the offensive onslaught, if you will, as Lai drops 2 more there.
Lai 11 points now. This duo of Steves and Lai has been lethal. And what's another steal for Lai? Pushes forward now, has a freebie down low. Good play down low from Long. Essentially cracked the lane wide open and has to move now. And the Crashers get caught. Long tips it away. Ayakundi recovers it. And driving low. Lay bounces out. Two-on-one situation here. Ontario has to make a push, and they're not going to get there. Shot falls wide. And finds a lane here down to Steves. Another one on the board for Steves, 23 points.
Minute 24 to go here in the
And
third
Long
quarter.
to steal.
That's something that I think we're seeing a lot stronger of from Team Ontario now. As earlier it was the defensive core battles in the first quarter. Second quarter it was the strong passing and the strong outlets to score baskets. And this quarter it's been the steals.
They've been doing an excellent job at picking off these errant passes. And now it's just a battle to see if the Crashers can break through. And timeout called by the Crashers. And it's 45-8. This has just been an absolute masterclass from Team Ontario. How to pick off passes, how to force driving offense, and especially winning the battles down low. They've been doing an excellent job with ball movement to keep themselves safe and in play. And the Crashers, they haven't adapted. They've been running essentially the same playbook this whole game, and it's led to Ontario essentially reading them like a book.
Yeah, without a doubt. If you're the Crashers, you have to maintain a different mindset right off the rip, just to make this game more, more closer, if you will, or get closer, if you will. I know whenever I've been told as a player, if we're down by a lot, just start changing your mindset by a lot. Start changing your strategy of passing, maybe pass a little bit more, get those open slot options. But with Team Ontario's defensive core being as strong as they are, You need to make sure that every shot counts.
So, the Crashers are happily taking chances. And, you know, sometimes those chances are exactly what you need to break free. But in other cases, it's costing you. We saw here, that one almost cost Ontario as they try and break free. It's the Crashers. Good recovery here from number 7. That one was Genesis Dick, who loses control here, and Steves gets the push. And shot goes wide. 2 seconds left on the clock. And 1. And Nyakundi has a pair looking for the and 1 opportunity.
Yeah, again, Team Ontario just doing really well with being able to call those penalties, get those draws, and be able to get the shots off now.
And makes it.
So 40-point lead, 48-8, as we will close out the third quarter of action here.
And offload pass. They did make it out of their zone, but didn't last very long. And the 40-point deficit for the Crashers. And off to the fourth quarter we go. Of course, Coach is going to have a quick time to talk. How much can you put together now if you're the Crashers to try and break through is the question.
I think right now it's just about team morale and team spirit. Pass around, get some extra shots going for perhaps the players that haven't seen a lot of touches this game so far. And it's just really building that confidence booster, saying quick memory, forget this game and move on to your next one. Obviously still full 10 minutes to go. And a lot of different players are getting touches for Team Ontario, so it's just stopping Steve, stopping Lai, things like that.
Say, of course, those major scorers, Steves and Lai, they've been playing essentially ping pong with each other, trying to find each other in open looks, and they've been doing well. They've been drawing fouls off the back of it. They get ball control. All of a sudden, they're also then getting a ton of contact down low, and you're driving fouls off of that. And there's a point if you're the Crashers where you have to acknowledge, hey, they're gonna get down low. Do you just leave someone down there at that point, cover it, because they're getting free lanes essentially along the baseline, and it's almost a free layup every time.
Yeah, and see, the thing is that every single player on Team Ontario, except for 4, has scored a point of some sorts. And the reason I bring that up is for 2 reasons. One, just to see the offensive power that Team Ontario has brought to this game. But 2, the 4 players, McElroy.
These are out of the 4 players who have hit the court.
Yes. McLennan, Houghton, McElroy, and Han. Those 4 players, even though they haven't gotten points, they've shown up in so many ways defensively to help their team get their main players the points that they have achieved. So winning possession battles is one thing, scoring points is another, but playing that defensive zone is a huge part of basketball, as any team will know and understand. Also, just want to give a quick shout out to some of our huge sponsors. Obviously, our gold partners, Sport Durham, Durham College, Ontario Tech, and OPG. Our silver partners in the Rotary Club of Whitby Sunrise, 49 Bespoke, 100 Men Ajax and Ontario Para. And our bronze partners, Shandax Group, Alexicon Energy, CGTA, Penmore Benefits, Central Counties Tourism, Jacqueline Tanner, Propel Mathis, Oshawa Camel Club, Oshawa Tourism, Lions Club of Durham, and the Barrett Center of Innovation in Sustainable Urban Agriculture, just to name a few.
9 minutes, 20 seconds left on the clock here. And down low, finds Freeman Gibb. Gets her 3rd and 4th of the night. Or sorry, of the day. I say the night. Man, I'm used to these nighttime games. Happy though to be here for the day, no doubt. And it's the Crashers here breaking through. Up top, has an opportunity. Breaks double digits. And putting that one away was Lightfoot, who has 4 on the contest. And O'Shaughnessy chasing a loose ball goes out. And an errant inbound pass from Steves. And officials having a little conversation, making sure that they're on the right base, right on the right line here to make sure everything runs smoothly. And driving here, once again, the offload this time from Lightfoot, who almost gets the rebound. And going to get herself up there was Dick, who had a little bit of a struggle there, has to strap back in. I'm going to take a quick second to do such. The Crashers have an opportunity now to kind of talk amongst themselves. Well, it's a great time to talk about how they're set up here, the Crashers, and how we've seen Ontario essentially break that wide open. You see 4 Crashers down low. They're covering the paint, while they only have 1 aggressor down here. And frankly, that was just coincidence because she fell over. Otherwise, all the Crashers are playing the paint. They're leaving these open looks from across mid-range, and the issue is they're leaving too much room in between. And Steves puts it away, 25.
That's what we call 3 for $1. And yeah, to your point, just the defensive zone coverage at the paint is something that the Crashers are trying to hold on to stop the Team Ontario from coming through. But Team Ontario is doing so well with the rebounding as well.
And this is the time right here. We see the Crashers are not able to cover that key like we were just talking about, and it led to Ontario. They took almost the entire court of free space. And there's only so much you can do. O'Shaughnessy has a hand in her face and still gets away with it. She has 6 now. This lead ever growing for Ontario.
Some heavy defensive battles down low here between O'Shaughnessy and Lightfoot.
Gets stuffed on the play, O'Shaughnessy. Excellent block. And this Ontario team puts a Hail Mary pass. Almost had the cherry pick attempt. O'Shaughnessy had the height to get it, just couldn't quite get far enough ahead. And slips through her fingers. Excellent vision there from Steves to even have a look at that and say, you know what? Yeah, I think that gap's there.
Yeah, a good read for sure, as ball will go out of play here.
An errant shot from the Crashers. And substitutions, it looks, for Ontario. O'Shaughnessy, Steves, and Houghton tapping out. In comes Lai, McElroy, and McLennan. You know, you take out people like Steves, you say, you know what, maybe this won't go as well for Team Ontario. But instead, you look at it instead, you're still putting in high caliber weapons. You're talking about Lai. You're talking about McClellan, who's done excellent on the defense. Lai, of course, has 11 today. And they're just doing a great job of covering all aspects. And there was a substitution from the Crashers to bring in number 2, Juliet Traynor. Six minutes left on the game. Ontario looks to have walked away with this in dominant fashion. Good recovery, loose ball. And it drives back into Ontario territory as Lai recovers with no issue. Put up a Hail Mary throw. No, good. Too much time off the shot clock there from Lai chasing down the ball. And the Crashers.
McLennan doing a really good job down low here, just defending her corner in the zone, making sure that no plays happen. While on the other side, you have Freeman Gibb blocking her corner.
And trying to make a move here was Johnson. Almost had it. And inbounding here for Ontario is going to be number 10, Melanie not Houghton. That's Zoe Hahn. Lai offloads, intercepted there by Genesis Dick. Good move there to hit the quick stop. Gets it down low. Missed shot there. Lightfoot had an opportunity to get 6 points on the day and didn't quite get there. Good recovery from Hahn as she's making her way to push forward. She's still looking for her first and not quite able to get there. And you look at Ontario, once again, they're just surrounding the ball carrier. There's nowhere to offload. There's no lanes. And as they spread out now, still nicely covering all active players, and McClellan, a quick steal, offloads McElroy. And McClellan just like I was saying, they're boxing out players, even on the offense now, as Bennett was caught up at half court by McClellan, and Lai finds an angle, not quite able to get there. Ontario has been doing very good down low in the paint, but it's their mid-rangers that are probably falling the least. And blocked. A foul called against McClellan, and it's going to be 2 shots here for Dick.
3:44 left to go here in the match of our opening day game of the tournament.
And neither shot falls. And this is the Crashers. One-handed shot there, not quite able to go. And good recovery from McClellan. And Nyakundi is still boxing out a Crasher down in Ontario territory. This is just bully ball. It eventually breaks out.
Bethany Johnson is just really looking for that, I don't want to call it the cherry pick attempt, but like that long Hail Mary just to get a couple more points on the board before it's over.
I don't even think it was that. It's just Nyakundi. She's playing very, very aggressive.
Yeah.
Dick has a chance. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Finds a lane low. And 1. She gets her first. And Ontario now getting a little bit sloppy on their fouls. But at this point in the game, you're not too upset.
No, and you definitely can't be, and I think it's just going to be a matter of trying to close this one out without getting too much of a risky play going.
And offloads here. Loose ball. Off the wheel of the Crashers.
As you could really, I noticed Bethany Johnson just getting so frustrated by being boxed out by Nyakundi that I think she had even some words for the Team Ontario bench just saying, like, what are we doing here? Like, look at the score. Just let me play some ball.
Absolutely. In a situation like this, it's not like it's close or whatever. You don't need to play that press of defense. But at this point, it's a show of force. You're proving to the rest of the tournament bracket they're also watching this game. No look is free against Team Ontario.
Exactly, and the other thing too is that if you start playing loose as a player, you're going to start forgetting maybe or like not thinking about the offensive or defensive powerhouse that you need to have, especially later in the tournament. You don't want to stray too much away from your routine.
McClellan off the backboard and no good. And the Crashers are just looking for opportunities. And we're seeing now this come back to bite Team Ontario as Nyakundi, who was playing offensive earlier, is just getting boxed out here by Dick and just not allowed to essentially get into play. Eventually makes her way back over. And Hahn recovers the rebound. And here we go again, Nyakundi boxing people out. Lets her free this time around.
Not for long though, she has an eye on her still.
Excellent defensive play. And good pass. Not quite able to get there with the shot though. Freeman Gibb was also looking to hit 6 points there. Just wasn't quite able to do so. A 42-point lead for Ontario. And they've just made a wall in front of Lightfoot. And a great shot.
Minute 3 to go here in the fourth quarter, as Team Ontario will probably have one more push up the court here. Less than a minute to go now.
I believe that was Johnson who got that shot off. And she now has 4. Hahn offloads Nyakundi. Looking for the long range. No good. McElroy tries to get there. Not quite. And it is going to be Crasher ball. Ontario abandoning their full court push. Full court press. And instead playing back. Playing man-on-man coverage.
Last push here for the Crashers, really, with 30 seconds to go in the game.
And they do manage to recover. Johnson, not quite off the front of the rim. And this is going to be Ontario ball. 23 seconds on the game clock. Shot clock irrelevant now. And as long as they make their way out of half court, this game is over.
Yeah, McLennan just looking to dribble it out there, but still having an encore press by Dicko there. But 7 seconds to go, and McElroy will just
Hold
dribble
on to
out
it.
for the 54-14 victory here to start the opening weekend here at the Campus Recreation Wellness Center for the National Women's Basketball Championships.
Game 1 in the books, a big win for Team Ontario as the Crashers make their way at 0-1 to start. You're looking now, if you're the Crashers, to make sure that you can stay in this tournament here. Don't let this game get to you. Ontario is a very much super-powered team, and now it's up to the other teams. They've had a chance to take a look at this Ontario offense, see how they work. Now they have to figure them out. Crashers look to still have that spirit, and Ontario happy to walk away with the W. And coming up shortly, we are going to be heading across the court here to go commentate some men's basketball action on the other side as both teams make their way off here.
Yeah, you'll be headed to see Saskatchewan vs Quebec, while here on court number 2, fans that are watching, you're stuck with me as I will be back for some 10 a.m. action where Quebec and BC women's teams will continue the women's side of the championships here, and the first look at Quebec and BC.
And thank you guys all for coming to watch this one. As teams make their way off and new ones make their way on, we will catch you guys just shortly. In about 30 minutes time, we'll be back here on court 2. My name is Etienne Skitch. Beside me,
Ryan Kolpitz, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate it, and we look forward to having you tune in again soon.
we'll be right back.